Hello and welcome my friends to The Flying Kick. I am Savino as always, and today I present you the first hardware review here on the channel. I was reached out by QRD Games, a Chinese controller manufacturer, asking if I wanted to review their brand new Maestro S3, and of course I said yes. Well, I said yes after making sure they weren't mistaking me for someone else, because you see, Hitbox controllers are more common in the fighting game community, and I don't play fighting games, but they said to me they got the right guy, and I'll be honest, I was very flattered. I mean, the channel is small and very niche. I wasn't expecting anyone aside from smaller indie devs to notice me, so yeah, this was all pretty cool. But this is the Flying Kick channel, and despite being flattered by them, my viewers always come first. I would rather burn a bridge with a developer or manufacturer than do a dishonest review here, so with that said, let's take a look at the controller. The first thing you should know is that the Maestro S3 works with everything: Android, iOS, Windows, Nintendo Switch, PS4 and Xbox. It also works with your PS5, but you will need a dongle for that. I even tried to pair it with my Vita, but without success. Yeah, I was asking too much. The controller comes in this box with a 1.5 meter USB-C cable, or 5 feet, holy brawlers United States, learn how to use metric, a clip to hold your phone, and an assortment of color buttons so you can customize the controller as you wish. Actually, this was pretty cool from them. I wasn't expecting this many extra buttons. This can be purchased separately or in a bundle with the PS5 dongle. There is also a very useful manual that I recommend you to read before using the controller, so you don't end up like an idiot looking at the controller flashing and thinking, why this thing won't pair with my PC? You know, it happened to a friend of mine. Pairing the controller is pretty simple. You just hold the Q button and the share button for a few seconds and bam, the controller is ready and recognized by your device as a wireless controller, and you're good to go. The button layout is basically what you would expect from a regular controller, with the Xbox layout with A, B, X and Y located here, and the shoulders and bumpers located here. Now, for those out there who are not used to hitboxes like I am, you should know that this button is down and this one is up. Yeah, this can be a bit confusing for us in the beaten up side of things, but it makes a lot of sense for fighting games if you think of it. This is easy to work around if you need to by using a software like Joy2Key or change the configuration of the game you're playing. If emulators are your thing, it's even easier. The buttons feel incredibly, they feel soft at touch and have excellent precision. I will confess that I'm not used to the top tier stuff that is available in the market. I have a couple of arcade sticks I made myself, and while the buttons are not the most expensive around, they weren't the cheapest. Now I think they are all extremely loud and kinda crap. The Maestro S3 on the other hand is incredibly silent, and that works perfectly with the type of controller this one is trying to be. The Maestro is thin, very, very thin. And it's also extremely light. The controller itself weighs around 1 kilo, or the same weight as a pineapple for my American friends out there, so this won't be a burden to carry around in a handbag. This can be very well a controller that you carry around on long trips, or to go to a friend's house and not play with his crappy second player controller. Or if you're like me, this is perfect to use in bed without waking up your wife in the middle of the night because you are playing Alien vs Predator and hamming that attack button to pull some combos with Lynn, because why would you play with anyone else? The phone support is easy to put in and pull out, and it holds the phone firmly in place. I confess I'm not much of a mobile player, but playing some arcade classics while in bed with this controller was a better experience than using my old M30, so this might become a new trend in this house from now on. Aside from being light and quiet, the controller also looks pretty good. It's all made in plastic, but it feels great to the touch, and there are even some rubber feet on the bottle, so it doesn't keep sliding while you play. The Maestro comes with some cool LED lights for the buttons, and you can pick one from 8 colors or let them cycle around. I'm not much of an LED guy, but I like it here. It's not too strong and it looks nice against the black finish. The Maestro S3 also comes with a lot of functions. You can change the controller's latency to better suit the type of game you're playing. I tried this controller with emulators, commercial games, open board games, and I didn't need to change this. The standard mode automatic worked pretty well with everything here, but your mileage may vary. I mean, beat-em ups need a ton of precision, but nothing like a fighting game, so you may want to mess around to see what's best for you. You can also change the SOCD with 3 different modes to better suit your needs. This feature is obviously suited for fighting games, but it can be useful to some beat-em ups too. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, welcome to the club, because I also don't. But from what I understood, you can change what happens when you press 2 opposite keys at the same time, like up and down. You can set it to up, to down, or to nothing at all. From my experience, keeping it set to down can be pretty useful to some games. But I can hear you asking, it's all fine and dandy, Savino, but how does this compare to an arcade stick or my favorite controller? And the answer is astonishingly well. You see, I always heard from people who play beat-em up on keyboard that the level of precision you can get is unmatched by anything. I never doubt then, after all, it makes sense, but I hate playing on keyboards. While in this thing here, you can have the precision of a keyboard with the comfort provided by an arcade stick. It's the best of both worlds. I said some games can take advantage of this type of controller, and that's absolutely true. I was never a huge fan of complex commands for specials or combos and beat-em ups, mainly because I am pretty bad at pulling them with a stick or a D-pad, but with this, it's incredibly easy. Playing games like Neketsu Oyaku, video coming soon, or Alien vs Predator makes pulling those moves so much easier. Seriously, take a look at this comparison of me trying to pull a QCF in this game. For other games like, let's say, Vendetta, it will all come down as a matter of preference. This controller performs pretty well, but it's not really a game changer since the game uses the directional mostly for moving around. I mean, it is still way better to play with this than with a traditional controller because mashing these buttons here feels very, very good. My daughter also jumped into the trend and took my controller to play some rhythm games on Roblox, and she said it is amazing. I will take her word for it because I have no idea what's happening here or why all the characters are having a seizure. As I said in the beginning, the controller is Bluetooth, but you can play with a cable. I must say that I didn't notice any serious delay while playing in Bluetooth mode. I mean, I'm sure if you go and measure the milliseconds here, you will find out the cable is the better option, obviously. But for a leisure time playing your favorite beat-em up, the delay is short enough. The controller has also a trackpad on top which worked on Steam and on my phone flawlessly, and there's also a built-in headphone jack, which is a nice bonus. There's also a reset button on the back, but I never needed to use it. Now, I have some small problems with it. The controller is a bit small for my hands. Yeah, I have abnormally large hands, but even so, I would like if it was a bit bigger. I mean, for a controller to carry around, the size is perfect, but after some time playing, the lack of support for my hands gets a bit tiresome. The controller could have had a little more inclination in its design, while the current design isn't bad at all. I think it would be nicer to have a little extra degree here. Now, one thing I really miss here is more button customization. While I believe this is what fighting game players want, it makes it a little cumbersome to use in any other games. I can see this type of precision be useful for a bunch of games. Old school run and guns, shoot 'em ups, even some side-scrollers that demand more precision can benefit from a controller like this. But the lack of a built-in way to change the directional keys make its usage a little bit limited if you play anything that's not emulated or isn't on PC. Maybe with a firmware update this could be solved, because for my beat-em up friends out there, especially the ones on console, this can be a bit frustrating to use. I mean, this was made for fighting games, but if you can have multiple uses for it, the better. Right now the Hitbox is around $170 on their site, or $200 if you get with the PS5 adapter and the button caps. For what it offers, I think the price is pretty good. It's cheaper than a lot of good boxes you can find around, and the build quality, the buttons, its portability, not to mention the Bluetooth mode and versatility, make it a pretty good choice if you're a person who travels a lot or is just like me and is always playing in not so conventional places around the house. The controller looks great, feels great, the buttons are phenomenal. This is a pretty good product that I will be using a lot from now on. It surely gets the Flying Kick seal of approval. And that's it for the video, guys. I want to send a huge thanks to the good folks at QRD Game for sending me this controller to present to you guys. And if you want to take a closer look at this controller or even get one for yourself, you can do it by clicking in the link below, which will take you right to their site. I will be back pretty soon with another video for you guys, and in the meantime, I hope you all have an awesome day, and remember, keep it up.